see the way they hate. And I know better than to listen to the people who are calling us slaves. I can feel the sunlight shining.
Well, good morning, everyone. My name's Brian, and today is Friday, April 12th, 2024, and this is episode 675 of the Lots Project podcast, and it's titled Cloud Rockets. It's another Friday show. That means we'll talk TikTok conspiracy theories and whatever pops up. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Let's check out what's going on over in the live chat, see who's hanging out in the coffee crew, grab a cup of coffee, and let's talk TikTok conspiracies. Oh, brand new bag this morning, guys. I finished. I feel like Homer. Coffee. Good morning, Rachel. I opened a new bag yesterday, and it's phenomenal. I'll let you know what I'm drinking here in a second. But over in the comments this morning, got Pip in early as always, and he said now he's got Rocket Man stuck in his head. I don't know. I read that, and I was like, oh, I'm sorry, Pip. And then I went down, and I'm like, Cloud Rockets? Rocket Man? Pip? Are you having breakfast salad on your way to work? Rewilder Life, good morning. She also had Rocket Man. I don't know. Like, is it just I can't use the word rocket, or how does that spin out of control there? Good morning, Rachel. I appreciate you being back. And actually, I wrote a note about you on my to-do list today because I totally blanked on making you that, emailing you that information. So I apologize live on air. Good morning. Chris Dixon, good morning. Good morning. Thanks for stopping in. Chris says the stupid ads. Yeah, the ads, and that's kind of why I roll in pretty slow here. Ads and people rolling in a little late. Takes a little while for the feed to pop up, notifications to go out, and yeah, like those ads to play. So I just sit here and I don't rock anything super important in the whole show, but definitely not in the first couple minutes. Good morning, One Take Records. Thanks for stopping in. That's another of Food Forest Farms aliases because for some reason YouTube decided that we don't need to talk to each other, and I don't want to see his comments. I subscribe to his channel. I watch his videos. I like his videos. I comment on his videos. But no, YouTube, we don't want Brian to be able to comment on my videos. So, One Take Records or Pickle Pete, it is. Rewilder Life says she's got Rocket Man in her head because Pip mentioned it. Good job, Pip. Pip's screwing it up for everybody. What is your worth, Pip, if all you do is screw it up and make people sing funny songs? Pickle Pete. Time changing avatars as we speak. Pickle Pete in the house. It's me. Anyway, what's in the cup today? I told you I opened a brand new bag, and it's great, guys. It's great. Silver Bullet Blend. Pickle Pete, by the way, is Silver Bullet Blend still up on the site, or did we discontinue that with the end of the silver sale? Silver Bullet Blend was developed for a project, the second run of a project that I did in conjunction with Toolman Tim. Both of us decided we wanted to issue custom silver coins. We had made a connection in network with a guy named Ryan at Curio Bullion. Actually, that connection goes full circle right to Pickle Pete here in the comments. Pickle Pete had interacted with Ryan, who is a silversmith, an artisan silversmith at that, and bought some of these really cool 2-ounce bars. I think they were 2-ounce bars that had artwork on them. He bought one. He showed me. I was like, man, that's really cool. I really like it. Had bought it through an Agorist marketplace. And had it shipped, had it tested, everything was good. The guy was legit. And so I contacted him. I was like, I take some precious metal. I would take some precious metal. Pickle Pete says, I love my 2 pouncy bars with cats on them. I believe I got a 2 pouncy too. But I reached out to Ryan at Curio Bullion and I was like, dude, I really like your stuff. Do you have any of those bars left that my buddy bought? And he showed me the pictures, cut me an awesome deal to pretty much clean out his inventory of that. He was kind of moving on to a different project. And I got him in the mail and I'm looking at him, I'm contemplating him, and I was like, man, I wonder, because the price was reasonable. I wonder if I send him some ideas. I'm not an artist by any means. Like, I don't pretend to be an artist. I don't pretend to draw. I mean, I do dabble in it here and there, but man, no one wants to buy my shit. So I said, man, you're an artist. Come up with a design, come up with a price, and I'd like to make some coins. I'd like to make some Lots Project coins. And he's like, yeah, let me mess around with it. He starts bouncing around different numbers, different ideas with costs and designs and this and that. Sent me back an awesome design. I was like, man, I really like it. I really would like to go on it. Now, what's the price? Price was pretty steep. Obviously, they were hand cast coins. And I was like, I can't put that in up front. I mean, it would be basically if I bought them myself and ended up not selling them for some reason, I don't mind holding the silver, but not at that much of a premium. So I reached out to my buddy Toolman Tim, who was also growing his channel at the time. I said, hey man, would you like to go in on this with me? I'm sure we could swing it with Ryan that if we split it, because the problem was we needed to buy such a big amount to get the price right. Because as you buy silver bulk for an artisan like that through a gold or a silver house, you start getting better prices. Obviously, the less it's got to be processed, the less it's got to be cut up, the bigger the chunk, the quantity discount. It made it reasonable to do when there was enough for 2 of us to do a run. So we've done that twice. Pickle Pete says he's got a couple in his safe that he'd pry out. Yeah, I would reach out to him before me. I got less than him. I think I have less than him. Pete and I did some wheeling and dealing and made it happen. Yeah, I still have some left, but Silver Bullet Blend, the second round of silver, we've done 2. I've been super happy with Ryan. If you guys are looking for some custom silver, looking for any cool artisan silver, check out Curio Bullion. I think it's CurioBullion.com, but Curio Bullion on Instagram, I know for sure has his information and pictures of his stuff. You should check him out. Ryan made us a set for round 1 was a 1 ounce coin and a 1/2 ounce coin. And then we flip-flopped the designs, and round 2 was the opposite. The 1/2 ounce meant to the 1 ounce. But we decided with some off 1 ounce coins that didn't have a matching pair that we were going to pair them up with some coffee. Well, one of the coffees we came up with was this Silver Bullet Blend. And yeah, that was like a 6-minute roundabout to tell you I'm drinking Silver Bullet Blend this morning, and it's fantastic. Is that Monsoon Malabar and what was the other, Brian? I don't drink it often enough to remember, and I've never been able to remember the mix of beans in it, but it's a super dark, oily bean and then a super light, drier bean. And man, from the time it's in the bag, whole bean, checking it out, looking at it, to the time that it's roasted, ground and brewed, it's fantastic. It looks cool. It smells great. Light Colombian and dark monsoon. Yes, that's what it was. And they just complement each other, and it's a fantastic cup. Different than anything I get. So I'm pretty sure it's available still over there, unless he's run dry on the monsoon. But yeah, check it out. It is definitely a premium cup. Good morning, Jim, on YouTube and over on Noster. Appreciate you stopping in. And anybody over on the vertical feed, thanks for swinging in and saying hello. Excuse me. It's Friday, guys, and I am okay. They're both available. They're all available. All good. Good morning, K Bonk. How we doing? And And the new Bitcoin blend is the Tanzanian peaberry. Hunter, good morning. Yay, it works. What are we trying to get to work, Hunter? What are we trying to get to work this morning? Anyway, it is Friday. It is Friday here on the show, and Fridays have traditionally now come to be conspiracy day. Oh, Twitch chat. Was the Twitch chat down? I wasn't noticing. You guys know I'm on Twitch? Sure am. Sure am. I get one viewer consistently every day, and I'm so proud to say it's Hunter. He is my Twitch stronghold. He says he likes it there because there isn't anybody there. He's there with all his friends. Good morning, Backwoods Butcher. Thanks for stopping in. Hunter and the Gamer Kids. I think Hunter is a gamer kid. Hunter, are you an ex-gamer kid? Is that your Twitch? Is that your Twitch tie, or how did you get into liking Twitch better than anything else? Because I thought originally when I've told it before, we had a radio morning show. It was kind of like his idols were definitely Howard Stern and Opie and Anthony. So you can kind of picture the kind of show that it was, and it wasn't really meant for terrestrial radio. So they kind of got canceled on radio, and they ended up moving to Twitch. And I was like, oh, what's this Twitch thing? And I didn't really look into it. I didn't think about it at all. I never went there to watch it. I signed up for an account basically, and I was like, this is fucking stupid. I don't know anything about this. This isn't my crowd. And so I just kind of fluttered away with it. They went on to be on there. They got canceled on there. They did really well. They built their show on there. Then they went back to YouTube and this and that. And yeah, I never really knew that it was like owned by Microsoft, I think. And yeah, that it's just as bad as the rest of them. Hunter said he supported one singular person I met on TikTok that wasn't my wife. Okay. Backwoods Butcher says Hunter tries to jump in the TikTok live. Hunter jumps on TikTok. I see Hunter on TikTok. No worries there. But in the morning, he's always on Twitch. Anyway, what conspiracy theories do we have popping around today? It was definitely a lighter week with the eclipse on Monday. I do actually have some eclipse stuff on the list here, but with the eclipse and the upcoming hatching of the giants and the earthquakes and the rapture and all of that, TikTok was pretty consumed. So TikTok being consumed with that, Saturday, Sunday, I was at SRF. I didn't do much TikToking. Monday was the eclipse. Tuesday was the fallout of the eclipse. And then after that, we it was kind of slow. Like, people are still trying to ride the eclipse gravy train. Kyle says he doesn't trust me anymore, seeing that he's still surrounded by short people. Just wait, dude. Just wait. So a lot they were trying to ride out the eclipse as far as they could. Hunter says he's been tired after the eclipse. Well, what did you do before the eclipse? And what have you done since? Are you saying that you've been tired abnormally because of the eclipse? Canadian Farmstead, good morning. Thanks for swinging in on YouTube there. Appreciate it. I've been really tired this week. Corey's been really tired, but it was because we were busy all weekend. Hunter's been more tired this week. You should sleep a little bit extra. It's the eclipse. It's because it got dark in the middle of the day on Monday and it threw y'all off. Anyway, it's been pretty slow this week. I do have some things on the list here, and the main one I saw on TikTok for a hot second. Jim says he's been tired since December. Jim's been tired since 1987 when he turned old. Wilder Life was on vacation for a little bit. Now she's dialing back to 4 a.m. That can be hard. Of course she's tired. Backwoods Butcher says they're really pushing the Ukrainian boat captain on the Baltimore crash. I haven't seen the Ukrainian boat captain. I have seen a pretty good stream of that it was either a terrorist attack or the transporting of cargo that we'll talk about in a minute. Chris Dixon says it sounds like your eyelids need to eclipse your eyeballs. Canadian Farmstead says you guys are not tired sometimes. And Pip says 4 a.m. is the new 6 a.m. 4 a.m. is definitely the new 6 a.m. Anyway, the first thing I got on my list here is oh God, Kyle. I'll star this one and come back to it. First one I saw a little blip of it on TikTok, and I was like, oh, that sounds like a great idea. That sounds like an absolute fantastic idea. What could go wrong? And then I was trying to rationalize with myself that it was probably bullshit. It was probably a conspiracy. It was probably fake. And then people started admitting that they were actually doing it. First thing on my list today is the Cloud Rockets, guys. I named the show after it. Have you heard about the Cloud Rockets? The Marine Cloud Brightening Program. Anybody pick up on this? I sit here when I read it, and I sit here and I read, and I try to wrap my brain around the gymnastics that these people go through that give them the justification for doing shit like this. Oh God, now we're talking about black box. Jesus. Oh no. Rachel Jameson, you said blocking the sun. Yep. So what this is all about, excuse me. The Marine Cloud Brightening Program's Coastal Atmospheric Aerosol Research and Engagement Project. That's what this thing is called. It's basically what they're saying is we've all heard about greenhouse gases. Backwoods Butcher says, I'm assuming they're seeding the clouds in the Middle East. No. Hunter says rockets. I saw something about salting the sky. Yes. So how this goes is they have seen over the years with greenhouse gases we know get released into the atmosphere, intensifying the collection of the rays and the heat from the sun. It was going to burn the earth up. The ozone layer was depleting because we were using too much Aquanet, and things like that. Whatever we were doing, fossil fuels, hairspray, aerosol, whatever, we were burning the earth up in the 80s. We knew it was going to, we were going to be like roasted by now. But they also observed the fact that when these particles, these aspirated particles, get into the atmosphere, they will mix in with the clouds, and they can make the clouds brighter. They make the clouds brighter and reflect more of the the light and the heat. So by default, this is cooling. And it almost sounds like the earth and the atmosphere are like doing a balancing act. Like when things go into the atmosphere and they intensify the light, things also go into the clouds and it intensifies the brightness of the clouds, reflecting more of the light. I'm not a scientist by any means. I don't even try to pretend I play one or anything. I understand concepts but I am open to information. But to me, the outcome of global warming has been nil. I mean, people might screech and yell and say it's gone up a degree. I've seen the pictures of the coastlines. I'm not a scientist. Nope. I've seen the pictures of the coastlines, the water levels, and everybody's screaming about the whole thing. Just doesn't happen. All the dire things. Now, the weather has been definitely amplifying, in my opinion, and then all that is an opinion, observation. When was the last time someone said chlorofluorocarbons? I actually worked with chlorofluorocarbons when I worked at a startup refining waste plastic. So yeah, long chain hydrocarbons. I suppose I could actually be considered a scientist because I did research and develop that stuff. Hunter says actually yesterday. So anyway, I'm like, okay, so we've been warming and cooling throughout the history of the world, and as far as we know, and how pompous are we to think that we can make it happen? And we all know that we've been lied about where oil comes from and fossil fuels and all that. We don't know what the agenda is or anything in the end, but yeah, the weather's been intensifying from my observation. Now, I don't know if that's a long cycle. I don't know if that's is normal because we don't live long cycles on the earth. We're here for a little blip of time. So maybe it is natural, or maybe it's them or the people that be, or somebody doing something fucking stupid like launching a rocket full of salt sprayers into the sky and shooting it into the clouds. What could go wrong? What could go wrong? Now, we know that nature is pretty balanced. Like, as people that are interested in permaculture and homesteading and natural farming, not factory farming, but getting in touch with nature, being outside, observing, things like that. Things that I've really come to enjoy and crave as we move to our farm, as we've traveled in the RV, as we've been more in nature. I've talked about it on the show before. I've kind of slowed down when I get outside, when I'm in the woods, when I'm looking at stuff. I really slow down and see the interconnections and all the different ecosystems and things that are overlapping. And there's a really delicate balance there that I think has been established. Not delicate into the fact where I think if you step on an anthill, you're changing the course of the universe, which you might, but I don't think significantly. But everything has kind of come to a balance. The rain, the sun, the drought, the flood. Let's fuck with that, guys. Let's just spray salt into the clouds. But I mean, what could go wrong? What could go wrong? From the article here, and then I'll get to the comments on this. I got some starred. Basically, they're saying that if they can seed 15% of the marine clouds, so the clouds over the oceans, just 15%, if they can seed them with this salt to make them brighter to reflect the sun, they can lower the temperature of the earth, the whole earth, by 1 degree. 1 degree, guys. They're going to lower the temperature of the earth by 1 degree. They're going to seed 15% of the clouds on earth. Now, they say marine clouds. I'm wondering, I'm pretty sure when I learned the weather, I know I learned on that silly globe model of the earth and not the flat earth. I'm not really sure with the clouds. When the clouds move in the sky on the flat earth, where do they end up going when they get off the end of the flat earth? Is it a big circle? Are they circling somehow? If anybody has any flat earth knowledge or flat earth, I mean, if you're a flat earther, awesome. Let's chat. But if you know any about this, like, where do the clouds go? Because in the globe theory, they just keep moving, you know. So the marine clouds will eventually end up over the fucking earth. And we're trying to harness solar power because that's what they say we need to do. What could go wrong? What could go wrong putting salt into clouds and making superstorms, or making it rain where it really shouldn't, where it's not supposed to, or making it dry where it's not supposed to because it dumped the moisture in the wrong spot? Rachel says if it wasn't flat earth, you've learned it wrong. So we're going to fuck with the atmosphere in order to lower the temperature of the earth 1 degree. Pip says 1 degree allegedly. Now, if my observation, anything that the government does is an absolute royal shitstorm, and it will probably raise the temperature of the earth by like 12 degrees. The polar caps will melt, we'll all be underwater, and thanks, salt clouds. Back up here. Backwoods Butcher, that is for the bridge topic. Pip says blocking the solar power, control all things. Dudes never saw the Matrix. It doesn't turn out too well. We're already in the Matrix, dude. We are already in the Matrix. And Chris Dixon says, I like to tease our flat earther at work with, imagine how much you'd get done if you spent your mental gymnastics energy on work stuff. That would make him productive, though. And I think that's part of the flat earther ethos is you're not allowed to accomplish very much. I think that's part of it. Backwoods says, you say that and we've had nothing but snow and rain for a week. 1 degree from Kevin Bacon. So I'm reading this thing and going, this has got to be something that they're planning. Like, they haven't, Chris Dixon says, don't they realize there's reflection on both sides of the sheet? I don't think they really give a fuck about what actually happens. And I'm thinking to myself, this has got to be something that they're planning on. There's never really any way they're not going to do this. Oh no, they already did. San Francisco Bay shot a rocket up and seeded the clouds against the advisement of several scientists that say we don't want to fuck with this. We don't want to start messing around with this. And I'm thinking all I can see is butterfly effect is we don't need to start a program that's doing this, but that first salt rocket that went into the sky, we're just fucked. It's going to perpetually spin out of control like the butterfly effect, and our weather's fucked. It's already done, guys. It's all over. Don't worry about it. Do whatever you want. Rack up your credit cards, debauchery and hedonism across the board. It's all over. They seeded the cloud. Now, I don't know how long it's going to take, but it's going to be a bumpy ride. Rewilder Life says, push us back to the dark ages. Yup. Colder. I thought it would be bad if it was colder. Well, for a while it was. At some points it was bad if it was going to be colder. Now it's going to be bad if it was warmer. Rewilder Life says, store up your starvation rations and grain. Yeah, you ain't going to be growing anything. Well, good thing we're all experimenting with indoor hydroponics and things like that with lights, because get your generator and your lights to grow your food. Backwoods Butcher says, anarchy? I don't even know what that means. Rachel says, adjust your tinfoil hat. Get it on nice and tight. If they're telling us, it probably means they've been doing it for a long time. Probably. Yeah. Jim says, yes, it's all going to end, but I really would like to know the date. Jim messaged me after. I got a line to the guy that knows when it's going to end. Chris Dixon also agrees. How many did they send up before they told us they were sending one? I don't know. But this is like a private research thing. I'm pretty sure from what I could understand that this isn't like a government thing. I mean, it's probably government sponsored and government taxpayer funded and all this, but I don't think this is a government initiative. So literally, guys, if we want to get together and raise some money, we can shoot salt rockets in the sky and fuck with the weather. Any of you guys in the audience, aerospace engineers or anything? Capital money guys? I think we should definitely start the LOTS project cloud seeding project. Jim says, oh, that must be for the Patreon members only. Dude, it is way beyond Patreon level when I tell you when the end times are. Backwoods Butcher says they've been doing it in the UAE for years. Well, I didn't know you were such an expert on the Middle East. Do you even know where the UAE is or what it stands for? Oh, okay. Canadian Farm says they know where we should shoot the salt rockets. Pickle B says, let's seed LSD above Washington, D.C. That would be fantastic. That's all we need is our government tripping worse than they already are. Lab raised everything. Who needs sun? Yeah, you guys are picking it up. Pip says, the future of lawyer commercials. Were you living in the states that were salt seeded? You may be entitled for compensation. Oh, just so you guys know, I think Elon might be in on the salting the clouds. They don't want me to get this message out. Pickle Pete says if we seeded the skies of Washington, D.C. with LSD, we'd get some interesting legislation. Oh. Wait, what? Hunter says, I know they seeded and a typhoon, I think, hit Tasmania and the government apologized. Huh. Well, that wasn't that nice of him. Man, my hat is all crooked today. I sat on it yesterday and the brim got all out of whack, and now I'm trying to fix it and it's reversed in the screen. It's just not going to happen. It's just going to be crooked. Kyle uses Google real quick. United Arab must not have copied and pasted. United Arab Emirates. They've been shooting salt and silver into the clouds to make it rain in the desert. I know, man. I'm just busting your ball. Oh, Hunter says it was Australia that fucked. This is. Oh, good morning, Blakesley. I'm done with this shit. Let's move on. Let's move on. All right. A couple of follow-ups on the eclipse. A couple of follow-ups on the eclipse, guys. Hey, good morning, Mike's Homestead. And yeah, I know that they're seeding in the United Arab Emirates. And good morning, Firewolf over on the vertical feed. Thanks for stopping. And let's move on to eclipse follow-up here. So two things really quick. Two things were a lot of people. So I saw a viral video on TikTok that was showing, it was proving that it wasn't the moon that caused the eclipse. So you know how people were saying that the moon and the sun were in different houses of the sky, that were in like Aries and they weren't supposed to be, or something. It was the dawning of the age of Aquarius, or the sky was going to hatch puppy babies. So it was not right. And so some people were speculating that Planet X, Narabi, or I don't know how to pronounce it, but that was coming close to Earth. Planet X, if you don't know what it is, look into it. It's interesting. It's interesting for sure. But they said that this was what was going to be going in between the Earth and the moon, not the moon, or in between the Earth and the sun, excuse me, and not the moon. That the moon was in the wrong, orbital path to make the eclipse happen. And so when it was happening, people were like taking videos of it and saying that they saw the moon. Rewilder said, I see folks saying that the sun and the moon were in the wrong spots through the clouds. Yeah, that's kind of the videos I was talking about. So the one that they were relying on the most, basically, the girl was taking a picture, a video of the eclipse, and it's completely dark. You know how it gets dark with the eclipse, and this was in the totality. This was like 4 minutes. She's got a video of it, and she pans over, and in one of the worst editing jobs I've seen in a long time, the sky went from completely black and dark from an eclipse to completely blue and the white outline of the moon, like when you can see the moon during the day, you know, when it's white in the sky quite often for a couple days or a week at a time, and people freak out and they're like, oh my God, I've never seen the moon during the day. Except last time it was there. And so I was like, wait, how did it get light so fast? There's no way it could have been the moon. It's over here. So that was that. Rachel says that people were saying that it was in a different spot. I've seen the videos. I don't know. If it was, it was. If it is, it is. What difference did it make? If it was Planet X causing the eclipse, or the moon, or whatever, it is what it is. It is what it is. Hunter says he didn't look for the moon at all during the eclipse. I didn't either. I barely could look out the window because it was so bright. Jim's requesting Pickle Pete talk about his zoning hearing today on his show. I think Pete's got a new song release coming up after my show. He's got news on his zoning hearing, and possibly some stuff about the medical industry, I think, from what I saw. Canadian Farmstead said, so Planet X just happened to be the perfect distance between the sun and the earth that it looks the same size as the moon. Well, yeah, man. Like, where have you been? You sometimes my audience just frustrates me. Yeah. So that was one thing I kept seeing about the eclipse. Wilder was hoping for little green men and giants together, like dancing together. Did they arrive together, the giants and the little green men? Are they a team? The other thing that I saw, and Kyle um and Rachel will be happy about this. Chris Dixon says it was the Death Star. They're wondering about the Giants and what happened with the Giants. I saw more than one video talking about they like to refer to them as entities. Like, if I didn't hear the word entity in another TikTok video for a couple of years, I'd be all right. They said K-Box Apollo rocket scientist. Oh no, Pickle Pete says he can't talk about it quite yet because there hasn't been a ruling, and his stalker watches the show. Yeah, well, that'll happen. So Giants. There has been a little bit of after talk that I picked up about the Giants. That the Giants did appear. The Giants were here before. They called them entities. Backwoods says, "Pull your head out of your ass, Canadian Farmstead." He said it. It wasn't me. And so they kept talking about these entities in California and that they were awakened again during the eclipse. These entities, they are also referred to as the Watchers. You may have known them. You may have heard of them. Some mountain that they habitate down in California. But they are basically, they're called the Watchers. This lady described them as like 10 foot tall with very skinny, long arms. They're super thin. It reminds me of what's that guy that they had the big, like, the scare with all the teenagers? What was it? Slender Man. Thanks, baby. Thanks. Mount Shasta, they grab campers. That's what Pickle Pete says. This is reminding me of the Slender Man, all the Slender Man talk there a couple of years ago. 10 years ago, was it? But the way she described them, 10 foot tall and long, skinny arms, long, skinny legs, and they live amongst the mountains. And Pickle Pete says they steal campers and things like that. Yeah, I don't know. She said that the eclipse awakened them, and there will be an uptick in sightings and interactions with the Watchers. Chris Dixon says, "So, a Sasquatch?" Canadian Farmstead says, "Wait, Corey actually listens to your morning ramblings?" Corey, do you actually listen? She says it depends on the day. She's loving me on Friday, so Pip says the government's wake up and the government wants to start taxing you by size. Do they have Saint Bernards? Oh. Chris Dixon says Corey's a captive audience. Oh yeah, so that was basically the eclipse. Follow up I had was Planet X, and the Watchers will now be making more appearances. I have to assume, like Chris Dixon says that will also apply for Sasquatch and other large beings on Earth that are larger than normal. So Kyle and Rachel, you may be getting your giants soon. So Let's move on. Let's move on from that. Let's see. You guys want to talk Alexa, Jennifer Lopez, Baltimore Bridge, or symbolism in cartoon and movies? I know it's a big list, but I got to start somewhere. Pickle Pete says listening to this show is like waterboarding for Corey. I mean, she chose to start working at the same time the show starts, so she's like tied to her chair back there. Not literally, guys. I do not have Corey tied to her chair. Wrong choice of words. Wrong choice of words. Pickle Pete votes J-Lo. Jim votes J-Lo. It's an easy one on J-Lo, though. It'll be quick. Things are surfacing back up about Jennifer Lopez on TikTok. It's going to start spiraling out of control pretty quick. So it started way back, I think it was in 2021, the guy said. Rewind their life. I'll do Bridge next. None of these are really good. This week was a bust for me with the conspiracy theory. Just a spoiler alert. It started back in like 2022, 2021, somewhere around there when a TikToker decided that he was going to take the word of a few other entertainment people in the entertainment industry, other singers, rappers, or whatever you want to call them, entertainers, who had started rumblings that Jennifer Lopez was a fraud. Jim says none of these are any good. I mean, legit. The list sucked this week, guys. It did. I can't do anything about it. But Jennifer Lopez, there were rumblings that she was fake, that it was the longest fraud in history. Now, I don't know if I would go that far to say Jennifer Lopez is the longest fraud in history. I don't know. Maybe the U.S. dollar or some other things would probably outweigh Jennifer Lopez and her enormous. Isn't she the one with the big ass? Is Jennifer Lopez the one that has the big ass, Corey? Yeah, Jenny from the block, right? Pip says, right on cue, Pip says, I thought she went by Jenny from the block, not J-Lo. Canadian Farm says, everyone got all their crazy out on the eclipse. It'll take a few days to build back up. That's what I figured. I figured it would be a slow week in the conspiracy world after the eclipse. Everybody had to take a breather. Backwoods Butcher says, after taco flavored kisses, her career really took a dive. Rewilder Life says, I like big butts and I cannot lie. No, that was Sir Mix-a-Lot. Jim says she's from In Living Color. Yeah, Jennifer Lopez started as a fly girl on In Living Color. Now this dude had done a little. He was like, so this dude that it all started with was a TikToker, and he was like the TMZ wannabe of TikTok, and I think he was kind of popular at the time. And I don't even know who he was. I like quickly couldn't listen to him very long. But he did a TikTok that Jenny from the block was not legit. She didn't sing her own song. She didn't write her own song. I'm like, wow, mind blowing. Some shitty pop star wasn't writing her own shitty music, and they just played a recording of some other shitty pop star playing shitty music when she danced. Oh my god. But anyway, I guess Jennifer Lopez took some offense to this, or was trying to not have it get out, and she sent the dude a cease and desist. Now, this relates to a story that Corey, not a story, but a conversation Corey and I had last night. What's the name of your book, Corey, that you read? Yeah. You guys know what the Fauci book Kennedy wrote? You guys, somebody in the crowd's read it. I'm guessing more than one person. Corey wouldn't let me read it because she said I'd get too mad, which I listened to her because she was getting mad, and Corey doesn't get mad about anything, but it was the book that Kennedy wrote, The Real Anthony Fauci. There you go. There you go. Yeah, that's it, Hunter. Yep. Rewilder read it. Canadian Farmstead. Yeah. Corey wouldn't let me read it. She says, no. You will be irate. I didn't want to be irate, so I didn't read it. I figured it was all like if you took every conspiracy theory about the government and the medical industry and wound them all together, it was just going to prove them all. And I'm like, fuck it. I'm not going to read it. But we were reading it. We were talking about it last night. Rewilder Life says it'll send steam out your eyes. I would have to listen to it. I would have to listen to it if I listened to it. Like, I wouldn't be able to read it. I'd just get mad and like squeeze my eyes shut real hard. Canadian Farmstead didn't read it. He figured he didn't need that anger either. Yeah. Anyway, Corey and I were talking about, I'm going to sneeze, guys. It's been for 40 minutes. At some point, it's going to come out. Corey and I were talking about the fact that he was never sued for the book. And some of the shit he said in there, from what I understand, what Corey's told me and what I've heard from other sources, is if it wasn't true, they would have had the book pulled. They would have had everything under the sun redacted or whatever, but not a peep. Not a peep. Jim says the book on tape is RFK reading it. It's the worst. Then I probably won't listen to it. Backwoods Butcher says he hasn't read it, but he knows it's a thing. Ooh, I am guys, are you all shocked that Kyle hasn't read a book? I mean, that book. Anyway, we're talking about the fact. Oh, Jim says he was joking. I haven't had someone read to me since I was a little kid, so I'm not an audiobook guy. Anyway, we're talking that if any of it was false, they would have sued. Canadian Pharmacist says, the publishers would have had lawyers going over every detail asking for receipts. Yeah, I mean, Corey said the citations sometimes were thicker than the chapters. So he had his shit covered. Now, where does this have to do with J-Lo? Old Jenny from the block heard this TikTok and basically threw a cease and desist at this kid on TikTok. In a couple hundred views, a couple 100 million views, or a million views, or whatever. Chris Dixon says Kyle's stuck on page 10 of Green Eggs and Ham. Sam, I am. So she's worried. Jim's wondering if there were 10 pages. He's reading the back cover. I can't finish it, guys. So Jenny gets all upset and she sends a cease and desist. And this guy's like, I mean, I didn't listen to all his story. I couldn't listen to him anymore. He was like I don't even know what his name was, but it was pretty tough to listen to. But anyway, he didn't stop, or he made another one, and then she sued him and blah, blah. This all spiraled. Well, it sounds like it's all coming out that it was true. And I'm wondering if it's through the Diddy pipeline, through the Diddy pipeline. I wonder if it's through the whole Diddy thing, things like that, and the such. I don't know. I don't necessarily know where it's coming from, but it's coming back up, and it's coming to light that she may actually have been just a fraud the whole time. Shocker. Like Milli Vanilli part 2. Yeah, so Jenny might be a fake. We'll keep an eye on that. Fauci was definitely real and an evil bastard. And the crowning jewel out of the conversation last night with Corey and I was trying to figure out when Magic Johnson's going to die from AIDS. Canadian Farmstead is wondering about the Diddy pipeline. Jesus. We got some time for bridge stuff. Seeing lots of things that are going to have to keep on the radar about the bridge, the Baltimore Bridge thing. And, oh yeah, OJ died. I posted a meme on Noster last night that said, today is not the day to be making jokes about OJ, but maybe I'll take a stab at it tomorrow. Ooh. The bridge. There's some stuff swirling about the bridge. Kyle says earlier, I want to get to his comment. Kyle says 2 minutes of the actual crash are missing from the black box. Weird. Was it, hey, if we turn a little bit, we could take out that bridge? Or was it them saying, what are we going to do with all the child porn sex slaves that we have in these containers? Which thing were they saying that they wanted to redact? And Jim said when they were talking about black boxes was, I'm always amazed when they find the black box. Why? They put a transponder in it. It's basically like using your iTag. Speaking of iTags, I got this really cool card yesterday. It's basically the size of a credit card, and it's a 3-year iTag. Makes noises and everything, I think. Yeah, you can ping it from an iPhone. I don't use iPhone, so I'm gonna have to mess with it. But yeah, so the bridge. If you want to understand the state of TikTok, I'm currently going viral. That should explain everything. Yeah. Canadian Farmstead, OJ can rest in peace knowing his wife's murder finally got justice. Yeah. Anyway, we'll talk about OJ at some point, probably next week when it is okay to talk about him. But the bridge. I'm seeing 2 theories on the bridge. And they're starting to play out. People are starting to gather more information from an inside source or this or that. He's covering for his son. It's a conspiracy. OJ didn't do it. He's covering for his son. Interesting. I'll watch for OJ. But the bridge, 2 main lines are coming out of the bridge stuff. One group are focusing on the terror angle, whether it be a false flag terror event, whether it is the start of a naval covert naval attack that they will systematically start taking bridges out around the country to our major ports as accidents, things like that. Pickle Pete says the second bridge, and yeah, Pickle Pete says in New York another ship lost power but tugs saved it. That's the line they're going down. This is a slow roll attack to kind of destabilize our ports, which, I mean, I don't see how that wouldn't work. So that's one that's gathering steam. And then the other one that's gathering steam is the fact of what the cargo on the ship actually was. And I've seen people go to as far to say that the whole fucking ship, all the containers on that ship, and now we've seen the ship, right? You've seen the ship, you've seen the picture. That's a lot of containers. saying that they were all full of trafficked kids, women, and some men, I guess, depending on who wants to buy them. But yeah, it was the transport ship for all the trafficked kids. And that is the reason. This is their theory, is the reason they know this is because immediately the government and Sniffy Joe came out and said, we're paying for the rebuild. And there's no insurance, no shipping insurance, no none of that, because they're trying to cover up what the cargo was. Because it's going to Sri Lanka, guys. It was going to Sri Lanka. And Sri Lanka is where they take is the magic place they take all the captives, I guess. Hunter's wondering how much people go for nowadays. I haven't seen a price list from since the 1800s, guys. I haven't seen a price list lately. Yeah. So those are the two theories coming out of the bridge. Sorry, Rachel, it's nothing exciting, but more to come there. I'm sure that will ramp up this week as the eclipse fades out. We'll need more things to talk about. Rewilder Life says, "Oh, we had kids bid on other kids here at the school." Yeah, we had those slave auctions when we were in school too. Jim says, "Why buy? Why buy when you can rent?" Yeah. What else is here? Clip that. K-Bog says they'll be harvesting organs now. God, they've been harvesting. What is the shit that they say that the Clintons all they run the Clintons run the operation where they're harvesting testosterone, not testosterone, the adrenaline or some shit from these kids. They pump them. They scare the living piss out of them for months on end, and as they're scaring them, they're extracting one of the chemicals that it produces. I've read about it. I can't place the name. It's gone. Pituitary. No, it has something to do with the adrenal gland. I thought that was Monsters Inc. Yeah, I don't know, but it's something that they take to stay like it's the fountain of youth or some shit. I don't know. I don't think it's cortisol. I don't remember. K-Pong says what? Yeah. I read this whole expose. I'm sure it was completely legit. I feel like it was completely legit, where they had a farm. Pickle P says adrenochrome. Yeah. They have these farms where they have all the trafficked kids, and like I don't know if it's after they've been used and abused or before they send them into the sex trade, but basically they scare the living shit out of them, so they're all pumped up, their adrenaline's flowing, and then they extract this shit and they sell it for like thousands of dollars for a liquid ounce, and these super wealthy Illuminati types take it. It's Conspiracy Theory Friday, guys. You don't know if it's true or not, or maybe, or whatever. Hunter says they need placenta and foreskin cream for their meat suit. Pickle P says adrenochrome. It's real. Ask his doctor friend. Oh, his doctor friend named Claude. It was fantastic. It's fantastic. Yeah, K-Bonk, you gotta get onto the darker side of the internet more if you haven't heard of that. Pickle Pete says it'll blow you out like crocodile. Crocodile, isn't that the one where people were taking it and then like turning into flesh-eating zombies and shit? That's some nasty stuff. That's some nasty stuff. Anyway, we're up at 5 after. Like I said, it was a shitty conspiracy weird on TikTok. I'm glad we were able to muddle through it. Between the crowd here and me and the depravity that we all have in our brains, I didn't think it would be a problem. We'll give you a thread to pull, and you folks are really good at pulling it, and I appreciate that for sure. Coming up after my show, if you've got another hour, my buddy Pickle Pete, Brian Scramblin, One Take Records. He has multiple personalities. I think he's probably got 4 or 5 people living in his head, just because you never know what you're going to get. You never know who he's going to log in as. Yeah, oh God, Pip says they steal their adrenochrome before they get diddled. Anyway, if you got some more time, Pickle Pete's gonna have a great show over there on Scrambling You. He's gonna be releasing a new metal mix song. I think he said metal genre song that's got to do with the medical industry and stuff like that. And then he's got all sorts of other crazy, wacky updates for a Friday. Check him out. Check him out after my show. Other than that, guys, it's going to be a great weekend. I got a lot planned, and we'll catch up with all of this stuff and get back on a better track on next week without having SRF to occupy all my time over the weekend. Guys, I appreciate you listening. If you enjoyed the show, it's always free to hit that like, share, and subscribe to return value for value. Check me out on Naster, where you can zappity-doo. Or you can consider joining one of the YouTube membership tiers or listening on any value for value audio platform like Podverse or Fountain.fm. You can check out thelotsproject.com for all my partner companies, discount codes, affiliate programs, and now comfreyroots.com, your direct comfrey root ordering solution from the interwebs. Get the strongest, most awesome comfrey stock you can. Just check out the 8-week growth that Jamie Off-Grid Ping got over on his socials. It's phenomenal, guys. It is just rocking and rolling. That was the whole plant breakdown we did. Man, it's Friday. It's Friday. Get it done. Get after it. Have an awesome weekend. Make it happen. Do all the things. Rest, sleep, be busy, whatever you got to do, but do it for you. Think about what you need to do to get your life in order, get accomplished, and make it happen. It's going to be a good weekend here, guys. I'm going to get to go hang out with the Tool Man Tim and a bunch of other stuff. Hope you have an awesome weekend, and we will talk to you on Monday.
Shining